This particular gospel is one of my most favorite passages in the Bible. And it has to do with the reconciliation that takes place between Jesus and Peter. You will remember, of course, that on Good Friday, Jesus was betrayed by Peter 3 times when push came to shove, after Peter had made a great show of his loyalty to Jesus at the Last Supper and said that heaven and earth would turn upside down, but he would be faithful to Jesus in all circumstances. And when Peter betrayed Jesus, he was gutted, as we would say maybe in our own terms in today's language, and he wept bitter tears over what had happened. And he must have carried this guilt around with him for the days and weeks afterwards. So this is what happened, to put it all right. Jesus and Peter go off for a little walk by the shore of the Sea of Galilee, and Jesus doesn't yell and scream at Peter for the betrayal and tell him how disappointed he was by his weakness of character, etc. Jesus' only concern is, does Peter love him? And to make a long story short, Peter makes a 3-fold profession of love for Jesus to cancel the 3 times that he denied him on Good Friday morning. And furthermore, Jesus has a plan for Peter. He doesn't at all want him to look back and be guilty and miserable over spilt milk. He wants Peter to get on with things. He says, "Do you love me?" And then Peter said, "Yes, Lord, I love you. Feed my sheep. Get on with your job of being the chief pastor of my church." And the reason why this is such an important passage for all of us is that if we have a little bit of humility, we all know that we do betray Jesus, maybe sometimes generally in small things, but it's also possible that we can betray him in big things. And when we seek reconciliation with Jesus, it doesn't happen on the shore of the Sea of Galilee as we have here. Rather, it happens in the confession box. And when we go here, we are professing our love for Jesus, and he is, again, really keen that we don't get miserable and cry over spilt milk, that we get on with the task of loving him and being his faithful disciple. One of the great pities of the Bible is to do with Judas. He betrayed Jesus as well. And if he had more faith in Jesus, if he had more confidence in Jesus' goodness and maybe confidence in his own goodness, he could have had a similar reconciliation to the one that we just heard in such moving terms between Jesus and Peter.